I compared some of my stamping polish with my regular polish and want to share my results with you. First, I tried my red polishes. As you can see, the red stamping polish from Born Pretty is clear and is a vibrant color. When stamped, it still closely resembles the color in the bottle. To compare, I tried my best to find regular polishes I have that are the closest to my red stamping polish. By the way, I didn't go out and buy polishes for this video. These are just ones I had already. Some are older and some are newer. I'm sure that can partially affect results, but only to a certain degree. OPI's California Raspberry transferred with more of a pink tone, which isn't too surprising since it wasn't exactly a perfect match for the red stamping polish anyway. It also didn't seem as bold as the stamping polish. Part of the transfer wasn't perfect, but that was user error. Trying to film and stamp isn't the easiest, but even when restamping off camera, I got the same results in terms of opacity and color. Sally Hansen's Hot Springs seemed to have thinner lines, but the redness was better than the OPI. I don't know the name of my red Sinful Colors polish since it had a sticker that I couldn't get off covering the name. In the end, it also was more of a pink color instead of the bold red of the stamping polish. However, it did transfer fairly well in my opinion. Here's my results. You can clearly tell that the one all the way to the right is from the stamping polish. The one next to it, Sinful Colors, transferred the best for a regular polish, but it isn't as red. The one all the way to the left, Sally Hansen, is the most red of the regular polishes, but it definitely didn't transfer the best. Now I tested my black polishes. First, I tested out my stamping polish, which did unsurprisingly well in the transfer and opacity. Next, I used Sally Hansen's infamous line, Insta-Dry. I remember in the past this line being touted as a great replacement for stamping polishes. Unfortunately, I've never had much luck with them, but let's give the polish a try. As you can see, it transferred fine, but the opacity just wasn't great. I even tried it twice to see if it was a user error, but without success. Holo Taco's One Coat Black was fun to test. I obviously love this brand. As you can see, I'm wearing another polish from Holo Taco on my nails now. But also, since the polish is so opaque you can just use one coat, I wondered if this would impact the opacity in stamping. After testing it, unfortunately, it's still not very opaque compared to the stamping polish. By the way, please note that whenever any regular polish doesn't stamp as well as stamping polish, that doesn't mean that the regular polish is bad. They're just made for different purposes, so they shouldn't be expected to have the exact same results. Here's the results side by side. You can easily see that the stamping polish is the clear winner. Of the two regular polishes, Holo Taco was slightly more opaque than Sally Hansen's polish. I stamped white polish on a black base next. First up was the stamping polish, which transferred fairly well. Please note that the base black polish was slightly textured, impacting all transfers slightly. This was simply because I didn't put a top coat on the base color before applying the stamps. My only white regular polish I own right now is the Orly Breathable White Polish. It actually didn't do as badly as I expected. It transferred okay and was more opaque than I thought it would be. However, if you compare it to the stamping polish, it didn't transfer quite as well in my opinion. Although, I bet you could argue this one. I'm going to say this one may be a contender for a fairly good stamping polish alternative if necessary. My silver stamping polish was next, and it was very opaque and transferred fine. I usually have pretty good success with this one. The closest polish I could find to silver was my Sally Hansen Therapeuter polish. This one did really badly in my opinion. It just doesn't show up very well. I feel like from far away, it's hard to even tell if it's really there. It's just not very vibrant and noticeable. Now, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are there any other colors you'd like me to try? Or are there certain color combinations I should try next with regular polish? Is there a certain brand of polish I should try? I do read your comments, so please let me know. I felt overwhelmed thinking of all the possibilities for testing, so I'd like to know what you're interested in to help guide me. By the way, I can't afford to buy a line of polishes to test, but if I have it, I can test it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's what Kay says.